Hello, everybody. You were listening to Feed Your Mind. So, Pythagoras, the question is, did this guy even exist? You see, with a lot of these historical teachers of the past that are promoted through the educational system, I sometimes wonder if these are actually real people or if these are characters created by the Illuminati system to further indoctrinate the world. But I usually approach these videos from a point of view as if these were actual people. So let's discuss this Pythagoras character in this video as a real person. And so from the research I've done on this character, it turns out this was a very interesting individual indeed. You see, Pythagoras was a sun worshiper. And according to my research, the serpent is symbolized as the sun in Illuminati teachings. Because you notice most Illuminati buildings and symbolism worships the sun and honors the sun as a god. And so Lucifer was represented as not only a serpent, but an illuminated being, a shining serpent. And so there's a definite connection between the sun and the serpent and Lucifer. So for the Illuminati to promote their message to their unsuspecting victims, how successful can they actually be if they're representing Lucifer as a devil with horns and a serpent-like creature? So instead, they promote Lucifer as a sun, and that's where we get our sun symbolism from. The solar system is actually a form of sun worship and was created to remove the geocentric Earth and promote the sun as the center of the universe instead. It's very clever indeed. And as they said, the devil in the garden as the snake was one of the most clever creatures in the gardens. And so Pythagoras helped transition the symbolism from the devil to the sun so that they could worship in public and not be seen as Satanists that need to be burned at the stake or anything. And so according to my research, this was all around 500 BC, although sun worship goes back way before that, and serpent worship. Because if you notice, the Egyptian pharaohs and the statues all had snakes on their foreheads, which was part of their hats that they were wearing. And also you see a whole lot of sun worship like Ra of the Egyptian times. And then you see a lot of the Roman artifacts with sun symbolism. And you see sun symbolism throughout pretty much the history of mankind. So this is really nothing new, this whole sun worship thing, which is actually Luciferian worship. And so it is rumored that Pythagoras was one of the first Masons, and his school in Italy began at the crack of dawn, just before sunrise, to pay respect to the sun. And so this should explain to you why everybody has to wake up so early in the morning to go to work or school. It seems like this was all integrated into society as part of sun worship. And so we're waking up at the crack of dawn before we would naturally wake up. A lot of times, even before the sun is risen, people are getting up, getting ready for work or school in order to subconsciously honor the rising of the sun. And so it is said that at the Pythagoras school, his students swore to oaths and secrecy and loyalty and stuff like that, just like the Masons. And they had to earn degrees, just like the colleges, I suppose, and the Masons. So, and these degrees would allow them to learn more secrets in the school. See, they didn't want the initiates to learn everything that the school had to offer. You had to actually earn that through your degrees. And so the college systems and the school systems are set up pretty much the same way, where you got to earn degrees in order to learn more. And so you earn your bachelor degree in college, and then you got to earn your master's and your doctorate. And you got to go in order. You can't just skip right to your doctorate. So all of this is tied in with Masonry and how they run their schools. And it was also said that these Pythagoras schools practiced rituals that worship the sun as well. So it seems to me that this Pythagoras school of Illuminati teachings was not really a mainstream school. It was more of an underground school. It didn't seem the public had access to it. You had to learn about it and possibly be invited to it and accepted and approved in order to learn the teachings of Pythagoras. So this was not by any long shot a mainstream public school thing that was going on. And so this whole sun worship thing and the heliocentrism of Pythagoras wasn't really a mainstream belief. This was all occult belief systems and secret knowledge that people were passing down in their inner circles. It wasn't until about 500 years ago, which was about 2,000 years after Pythagoras started his school, that the heliocentric sun worshiping model became a public thing. And there's some arguments that even suggest that not only did the majority of people think the world was flat up until about 500 years ago, but it might have even been less than 500 years ago, because if the Copernicus system introduced Pythagoras sun worship heliocentric model into the world 500 years ago, it would have took some time for the world to actually transition fully into a heliocentric solar system model as a mainstream belief. It might have took 100 or 200 years or so before the majority would accept the solar system model. And so who knows how long exactly this solar system deception has been taking place, but we know it's somewhere around 500 years ago. The Catholic Church got involved along with Copernicus to introduce the Pythagoras heliocentric sun-worshipping model to the world. And so to this day, the solar system model is taught in schools and universities around the world as actual fact. But if you do your research, you'll find out that this whole solar system model is actually an Illuminati sun-worshipping ritual, which was designed by Pythagoras around 2,000 years ago. And so most of this stuff took place right around the time Jesus was said to be walking the earth. So this was a big turn in events from before Jesus was born. And so around that time when Jesus was being born, it seems like that's when the big battle of minds was beginning to take place, with this subconscious introductory level of sun worship being introduced to mankind through the heliocentric sun worshipping solar system. That's a pretty interesting coincidence. And so coming up soon, I will be releasing a video on Copernicus, and we'll get into more details about Copernicus and his mission to introduce the heliocentric sun worshipping solar system model to the world as a mainstream belief. And you see, it's been a while since I've released here on Feed Your Mind 2, but if you guys were to join me on Patreon for as little as $1, I'm thinking I can get to a point where I can begin to really start putting out much more content on all of my channels, and maybe even bring on more guests and more presenters to these channels so that we can really get these channels going. And I still haven't gotten my website up either. So there's a lot of things that I have planned for Feed Your Mind, but I'm going to need much more support in order to do it. So if you join my Patreon page, you will be receiving emails from me to you about upcoming videos that haven't even been released yet. You'll also be receiving artwork and titles of those videos, and I'll also keep you posted on any videos that you might have missed. And so pick up a Flat Earth t-shirt from the Feed Your Mind store to help promote the Flat Earth. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell to help out this channel. Type Flat Earth in the comment section after you click that notification bell. This has been another episode of Feed Your Mind, signing off.